Serious, NSFW. What's something that a friend, classmate did in high school that was seen as funny at the time, but you now realize was actually not okay? Living in the Netherlands, classmate was showing on his phone a whole online shop he claimed to have with all kinds of drugs and weapons. We thought it was funny because we didn't take it too serious. He dropped out of school early and turned out to be a big drug dealer. Well, we could have known, I guess. In our school there was a teacher who had a mole, so of course the kids decided her nickname would now be Mole. She must have felt really hurt, as she eventually had the mole removed, leaving a little dent where it used to be. Did everyone then stop calling her names? Nope. They started calling her Hole instead. My friend faked her own kidnapping. I was all fun and games until the police started chasing her kidnappers van. A friend in my group had sex with another friend's mother, like literally. His mother was even somewhat open about it. We always gave both friends shit for it and thought it was hilarious at the time, but we were only about 16 or so. When I was in middle school, some kids spiked our family and consumer sciences teacher's chili with sleeping pills. I'm pretty sure someone told so she never ate it, but that could have ended really badly. A kid took another kid's towel after gym class shower. He used the other kid's towel to dry his ass. Put a shit stain on the towel 3 foot long. Lots of nervous laughter because we were glad it wasn't our towel. Sick bastard. In grade 8, a so-called friend convinced a child with Down syndrome to come up to me and grope my balls. Over the years I've come to realize just how screwed up that was. Chewed his cold sore open and started finger painting on his desk in his own blood. High school honors psychology class, front row next to me. This kid's used to smell girl's seat right after she leaves. Once he smelled something funny and asked the other guys to smell get seat. This girl was called Poop because of this guy. What a weird fetish. Throw peanuts at the kid with a nut allergy. Every Friday there was school-wide Slap Ass Friday, where everyone just decided that they have free reign to run around and slap everyone's butts all day. Doesn't matter who you were probably getting your booty popped on Fridays. I was an awkward loner and people would run up and slap my butt all the time. Doubt that would fly these days. Harassing and mocking the teachers. One of them even got a nervous breakdown because of it and was on sick leave for half a year. A classmate got a new cool bike. For some reason this other classmate wasn't okay with this, so he threw her new bike in the woods and smeared dog shit all over it. He was pretty much found out for doing this the very next day. Kids just are the worst people on earth, Jesus. Dry humping each other in public was peak comedy at 15 feet. I never thought it was funny, but a lot of classmates did. There was this one kid that would make fun of a weird girl for both of her parents dying in a car accident. Lots of people laughed and I still think about it 16 years later. One of my classmates jammed his thumb up another student's butthole in 3rd grade. There was a girl in my HS grade that would suck anyone's dick from our grade. Just ask her at lunch, and she'll blow you in your car after school. Not even a big deal for anyone. She wasn't very popular with the other girls. Obviously this girl has some flocked up shit going on and no one stopped to think about it. Putting a used condom on the lecturer's desk, with a threatening note on the side. It was funny for the people involved, but everyone else was disgusted. The lecturer was naturally freaked out and refused to teach that class again. Pantsing. Reading all of these responses makes this quote they heard resonate better. I have a lot of respect for junior high and high school teachers, because they dealing with some of the dumbest motherflockers on the planet. Freshman year of high school, someone left a shaving razor in the locker of a girl who had a light mustache. Can't imagine that helped her self-esteem at all. We had a kid that would say just really messed up stuff. Well, one day he said, old enough to pee, old enough for me, and we all laughed like bro, that's gross, WTF lol. Well, fast forward about 8 months after graduation and boom, arrested for child porn. Guys in my year went through a phase of brutally wedging each other with the aim to fully rip the underwear off. Once guys' ripped boxers got pinned on the notice board complete with skid marks and bloodstains. Seemed hilarious at the time, but I die inside a little at the memory. My maths class once made a teacher cry and quit. She couldn't speak English that well as she was from Poland. It got to the point where classmates hid her bag and hid items from the bag. One day she had a nervous breakdown and we never saw her again. It's only now you realize that something like that just isn't on at all. Pretty disgusting behavior, TBH. 2 guys holding their arms over Bunsen burners to see who could hold out the longest. One of the same guys carving a girl's name into his forearm. The other one making tasers out of disposable cameras, and hitting people with them. Had a friend that went to the pet store and bought feeder mice like for snakes. He will pull up beside of a car with a sunroof open or convertible and throw the mouse inside of the car. He threw a live mouse in somebody's car at a red light. I had a friend that was really good at unbuckling girls' bras from behind. He'd constantly do it and it was supposed to be funny how fast and stealthy he was. Boys at school would scoop you, meaning they would basically slap your TD. No 2 boys that got put on the sex offenders list because of it. Once we found out that old diesel engines were easy to boost, we took a lot of fun rides and abandoned in the field equipment. Skidders, bulldozer, tractors. Until we trashed a school bus converted in a hunting cabin. That wasn't fun anymore. The more popular guys in my class made a ranking list of the hottest girls in our grade level. It ended up getting leaked. Found out a bit later the girl who was ranked dead last spent a few hours crying by herself in the bathroom. Dead baby jokes. My friends and I had dozens of them that we would rapid fire back and forth. It was hilarious, until we made one during English class and our teacher left the room crying. Turns out she had recently had a miscarriage. We all felt like gigantic assholes and apologized profusely. At Safe Grad, a guy got handsy with a girl in the tent who was not interested. We all started calling him Busy Hands name, and we thought that was hilarious. It is, of course, sexual assault, and thinking it's funny was also on us. Pussy punching. I had a friend who was a big girl who loved to tease me because I was much smaller. I thought she was one of my closest friends, but she only ever repeatedly would punch me right on the bone down there really hard every time. It was terrible. Senior prank where people sneak into the school and vandalize whatever they see. Stab me with a lead pencil. Hilarious. And that little dot of lead wedged forever in my ankle is still to date my only tat. Baton Rouge high mid-80s friend put a pipe bomb in a locker at school. It destroyed a row of lockers. Never even considered the potential for someone being hurt or dying. Not to mention the mess someone else had to clean, the cost to replace. I just remember thinking it was the funniest shit ever. There was a guy in my high school who was kind of a douchebag. Call him Rodney. One day he pissed off the wrong dude, still not sure who, so the guy went into the locker room and pissed in Rodney's locker and then took a shit and stuffed Rodney's car keys into it. I laughed at the time, but looking back it was a bit much lol edit. Typo. In high school we had a Japanese language class, and one of the teachers was actually from Japan. He had an accent, and the kids would try to get him to say parallelogram as a joke. As an adult, I realize how messed up that is to make fun of someone for their accent. But the teacher caught on and would just say parallelogram in Japanese. In high school we had two wings that had a path outside between them and doors on each end. Some of the guys would push girls outside when it was raining and they were wearing white t-shirts. A lot of people, including other girls and even the girls that got forced outside themselves, laughed and thought this was an okay thing to do. A guy in my year only had one testicle. A girl wanted to find out if it was true, so she stuffed her hand down his pants. Lots of people found it funny. I didn't. I thought it was disturbing. And of course, it's assault. I don't believe he told any teachers. My English teacher, 40-something M, would text my friend, 16M, late at night to talk about his papers, but also do things like mention he was having wine and wished he could share it with him, a dozen other things. At the time we were just like, lol, this is so funny. Mr. So-and-so is horny and weird. Probably all the hazing I saw in boarding school. A classmate flipped a girl's skirt up with his racket while we were playing squash in PE once. I live in the UK. In the 90s the girls' PE uniform at most secondary schools included a short wrap brown pleated skirt. One of our friends put his cum in a cupcake and fed it to another one of our friends. We all thought it was the funniest thing ever at the time, but looking back I'm disturbed. We had a classmate put some of his pubic hair in our Taz water bottle for getting him in trouble. We all laughed while she drank from it, and even harder when she found out. As an adult, I'm mortified at the thought. From the apparent safety of an upstairs classroom, one guy had the balls to shout, "Sheepshagger," full volume out the window at our Welsh PE teacher. Turns out 2 sets of stairs Aaron, much of defensive mechanism against a man riled by casual racist abuse. Guy bought a razor and taped it to a balloon and gave it to a girl he had sex with as a hint to shave her pussy. This was in front of probably 1,500 people too. Dead alligator in the school's AC was also pretty bad. It was the principal's son. He stole his dad's keys and snuck a dead gator into the school's AC at night. It turns out marching band traditions are actually just sexual harassment and hazing, and the cool band director who encouraged it was actually a terrible person. Recording himself saying, "I want the principal to flock me in the ass," then playing that recording in the hallway as the principal walked past. Putting eye drops in the teacher's coffee. They get sick as shit. Pranks become felonies the day you turn 18. In high school there was this basket of condoms that were free for any student to take. In grade 9 I had a friend who would use a thumbtack and poke small, unnoticeable holes in the condoms and put them back. Thought it was funny at the time, but goddamn was that a dick move. A senior student edited a teacher's face onto a porn video and sent it around. We didn't realize how serious it was at 16, but the teacher ended up leaving. Really sad when I think about it. A kid pierced his own nipple during class with a safety pin. I suppose I knew it was flocked up at the time. A lot of vandalism. Also in my school it was considered funny to pull down pants of a random guy in the classroom or corridor. Yeah, that's almost battery or something. People mocking at a girl with Asperger's.